The other day I was checking Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Such a brilliant film, and even with the slightly wobbly car, what is it, mine chase in the middle, um, with the with the articulated dolls. But I love the opening of the scene. I love the dance, and then the flight, and 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 then getting out of the aeroplane in the yellow raft and looking up and seeing the Indian elder, the village elder. And he says, "The evil one came, he took Shiva Lingam from our village. Then the darkness came. They took away the children." And Indiana Jones turns to the camera. "The children. They've stolen the children," he says. And this is the thing that drives the film. It's the emotional heart of the film. And today it's happened again. This is about Ukraine's lost youth and Trump's indifference, apathy. The children. They've stolen the children. From Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom to reality. This isn't a quote now from an action movie. It's a howl of agony that reverberates chillingly in the real world today. A cult's kidnapping of children in Steven Spielberg's Temple of Doom drives the entire village into darkness and despair. You can feel the ache. It serves as the film's core. And it's occurring again, this time in 2020 and 2020 through to 2025. Ukraine instead of 1930s India. And over 20,000 Ukrainian children have been kidnapped since Russia's incursion. And they've lost their names, their identities. They've lost their nation. They've been taken from homes and institutions. Some of them have been sent to Russia, sent by Russia to holiday camps where they've been instructed in speaking Russian and singing patriotic songs. And in the most bizarre turn of events, some have even been forced to fight against their own nation by being drafted into the Russian military. Others have been forcibly adopted by Russian families. As it happens in real time, it's a quiet war crime. And despite this, the United States, which has traditionally been a champion of human rights, has abandoned this cause. The Yale University Humanitarian Lab, the world-renowned team that tracks and aids the recovery of these kidnapped children, has lost funding because of Trump's administration's purported cuts to government spending, because of Elon Musk's Doge efforts. To be clear, this Yale lab was doing more than just gathering data. It was accumulating proof of war crime. Names were being called. It was finding children. It was keeping hope alive. And access to the lab's priceless data has been taken away when the funding was cut. Imagine a library of justice and truth has been locked and its keys thrown aside by those tasked with protecting it. Trump is concerned, according to his supporters. It's part of the conversation with Russia, says Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State. However, worrying is not action. Rescue is not diplomacy. A search party is not a conversation. Even prominent Republican senators such as Tom Tillis and Chuck Grassley have divided themselves in response to this silence. They've demanded the restoration of money. They've called on the Trump administration to explain the rationale behind the stopping of this crucial initiative. Christian organizations have also joined the protest, the chorus of protests. And after blindly supporting Trump in the past, the evangelical right is now questioning what sort of leadership ignores children who have been stolen. An international rift is also beginning to form. Since the US has essentially withdrawn, UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy has been questioned in Parliament about what part Britain may play in saving these children. As America seems to be losing its moral compass, Europe observes with concern that it may be necessary to take over. How do we take over? How do we help find these children? Meanwhile, the suffering continues in Ukraine. We have to leverage the names, the information, the leads from Yale. ITV's haunting documentary, Ukraine's Stolen Children, lays bare the trauma where in the documentary met Dennis dressed in a Russian flag paraded on state like a trophy. We hear of children who are promised safety and holidays only to be misled and lied to. They've been abandoned according to their parents. Their identities have been erased. The terrifying part, though, is that Yale's evidence helped the International Criminal Court issue arrest warrants for war crimes against Putin and his commissioner for children, Maria Lvova-Belova. And now, under the auspices of a US administration that's given up on the very mission it made possible, the same evidence is sitting unused and locked away. When the guardians of global justice determine that the truth is no longer worth funding, this is what occurs. Ukraine risks losing not only its territory, but also its future if we don't take action. The line isn't mine, it's from Natalia Bolshova, writing in February, and she's right. These are not collateral, these are children. These are not data, they're human beings, and they're being raised in the wrong language, flying the wrong flag, receiving the wrong kind of training to fight the wrong battle. These are janissaries in the 21st century. Ignoring them is allowing them to be lost. Under the guise of bureaucratic jargon, Trump's apathy is complicity rather than neutrality. It's stillness in the face of kidnapping, and history tells us that silence is the breeding ground for horror, for tyranny. Indiana Jones didn't engage in negotiations with the Thuggee cult. He rescued the children. That's why we cheered, and that's the reason we remember that film. Where's the rescue now? It's a question we need to ask in the actual world.